All right, enough of that. Turn that shit down. Okay. Intro over. So turn this back up, just make sure. Okay. Hello. And welcome. This webcam sucks. It's been a long time. I'm I guess what's been going on, that I don't know. I can't even remember the last time I streamed. What sucks is that I don't have audio in my headphones as far as my talking, so I don't know why I'm wearing headphones. I mean, I can't hear the fucking thing anyway. I'll just I'll turn my speakers on and see how that goes. Let me see. I'm gonna play something and see if it comes through here. Some Phil Thomas Cat. Oh, see? Boom. I got desktop audio, so I got a volume knob right here I can control. So sweet, perfect, awesome. Don't need any other bullshit. So we can kill that. Okay. So I really don't remember the last time I streamed. I couldn't tell you. It's been a couple of years. I think it was when it may have been like, it may be a lot of years. It could be like 4 or 5 years, actually. I think it was right, like when I bought this house. I don't know. Now I'm just babbling. So, hello. Anyway. Yes, it is me, a social wreck, back again, giving you the long-awaited update. Now, really, what it amounts to is, I guess you could say a lot's been going on. Not really much of anything we've experienced. We've been through the looking glass as far as COVID goes, and that changed a lot of people's lives. And since then, yeah, I've just been working and hiking. Working and hiking. Working and hiking. I bought a kayak this year, so I'm also kayaking and hiking and working. And I've been trying to get engaged in some filmmaking projects, all of my efforts of which have fallen short. Not for lack of trying, but I am in the middle of nowhere in the Midwest. And no one here is interested at all in making a movie. So it is what it is. Let's see what else. There's not really a whole lot going on anymore. I just watch YouTube religiously almost. I don't even know what channel this is. The funny thing is, I think this is my social rec channel, so if I watch anything, it's going to have nonstop ads pop up. So, fuck all that. I pay for YouTube Premium on my Charlie Dango account. That way I never have to watch, for as long as YouTube will allow it. We don't have to watch ads, because there's nothing more on this planet I hate than fucking advertisements. Which says a lot, because I make a living making advertisements. So for I guess you could say it's irony, but it is what it is. As a matter of fact, that business is kind of going to the wayside too. A lot of things have changed. A lot of things have changed. I would like to think that, you know, things would get back to normal, but I guess, you know, several years ago when they said the new normal, they weren't lying. The new normal is absolutely, we don't have 24-hour things anymore. Everything costs more. There's less opportunity. AI is taking over in a lot of cases, basically eliminating a lot of the usefulness of what people took for granted for many years. And things like my career are starting to slowly be phased out because, you know, why pay someone to do something that a computer can do for free? So that's, of course, me being hyperbolic. I still have work. I'm still gainfully employed. But as far as like doing things online, after I kind of shut down. What was it? I was doing the show Unleashed Opinion for a while after I moved into my new house, and then I shut that down. I just got tired of doing it. All of my personal streaming efforts have all been brought to a close. I think I posted last year something about returning. Like I posted a video to this channel, I think, asking people what they thought about me coming back and streaming, and I did nothing with that. You probably wouldn't be surprised. It took me a year to get to here. I mean, let's just say my motivation levels have dropped to almost nothing. There was times in my life where I could just take a whole lot of equipment, cables and microphones and cameras and lights and everything, and just set it all up and get myself set up in a nice scenario where I could stream and make it look all nice. And then when I got tired of that, I'd break it down, set it up somewhere else, and I'd just move around, do all this. Now it takes me an entire year just to set up a computer for streaming with nothing more than a webcam and this microphone. It's amazing how little motivation I actually have. But I am getting older, so there's that. I turned 48 this month. Actually, what is it? What was the 16th? Yeah, so in 10 days, I turned 48. So, yeah, happy birthday to me. So, yeah, it sounds sadder than it is, maybe. I don't know. But life has just basically mellowed out into I pay my bills, and I try to find things to do, and that's it. I've never been interesting, so this is just an extension of the boredom that is my life. I would like to thank those who are checking out the stream. Let's see, who do we got here? DCG with a blast from the past, Woe 70. Navy veteran asking where bubonic is. Good question. Mr. Scott J87. Oh, okay. DCG is Shadowcat. Okay. Hello, Shadowcat. Yeah. Interesting to see some familiar names. I'm surprised you people are tuning in to this stream. It's been how many fucking years? And I just fire one up, and it is what it is, I suppose. I don't see many streams anymore. It seems like a lot of these channels that used to be prominent, that I used to know, and all these streaming channels that used to be very prevalent, 6 years ago, if not a little longer, they're just gone. I mean, all that's left in its place is just a sea of nothing. It's like AI and bots. I mean, that's to say that I even took very much interest in a lot of what was going on even back then, but it is sort of sad to see that A lot of those networks have broken down. I guess you can't say they've broken down. What they do, what they've done is like what always happens in capitalism is the cream rises to the top and everything gets consolidated to the biggest performers, and those became I don't know, they came and went. I know there's still some of those older channels still floating around. I think I saw what's his name? What's his fucking name? Oh God, my brain is fucked. I'm trying to remember his name. The guy who did the cartoon dude. He was like doing what do you call it? That VTuber shit before VTubing was actually a thing. God, I can't remember his name for the life of me. He used to go by wasn't he my God, wasn't he like a frog? Wasn't his avatar a frog? Like way back in the day, and then he does the cartoon late night talk show guy, whoever that fucking guy is. God damn, I can't remember anyone's fucking name. But I think I logged into this channel not too long ago, and I saw his shit pop up in my feed, and I was like, I can't believe he's still doing it. I mean, I could search for it, but I literally have no. Oh yeah, Adonis guy, that fucking that dude. Can't remember his name. Yeah, AP, that was his name. Angry Pepe, was that what that stood for? Yeah, his channel he's still doing. Outside of that, I don't know of anyone else who's doing anything else. I take that back. Some of the other bigger ones are like, what's his name? I swear that, I mean, my fucking brain has gone to shit. No, like Omegon and a lot of those bigger guys, they're still kicking it. They're still beating that dead horse. Let's see. Ghastly. I haven't heard anything out of Ghastly for a long time. Is he on Twitch? I was feeling crappy and no motivation. My B12 and iron and ferritin was low. My regular doctor was only caught low vitamin D. Feeling significantly better now. Well, that's good to hear. Person. Have you ever seen a functional doctor most or better at reading blood panels than regular doctors? Oh. No, I don't go to the doctor anymore because the last time I went to the doctor, they ran blood panels on me and then I ended up paying like 90% of the bill because my insurance sucks. And yet I pay through the fucking nose for the privilege to be charged 90% of everything that I get charged for. So I fully intend to cancel my insurance at the end of the year and just be done with it. Fuck them. I mean, at this point, it's like, if you don't get anything out of it and you're too afraid to use it, why the fuck continue to pay into it? Like, my wife gets on my case about that all the time. She's like, well, what if something happens? I was like, well, what if it does? Like, if you really think about it, I mean, I'm in great health. So, and this is part of my decision is because every time I go to the doctor, I'm always told, no, you're in excellent health. We've run blood panels. We've run all this. We've checked you for this, just upwards and downwards, backwards and forwards. I get checked for everything, like every single year. And it's like, no, there's nothing wrong with you. I was like, cool. Then why do I keep getting fucking tested? Why do I keep getting checked? I think the last time they run blood panels, it was to check my, prolactin levels, because I had elevated prolactin due to a cyst in my head or in my pituitary gland that was causing elevated levels. I had to take a pill for like 2 years and then to regulate it, and then it finally was regulated. So they took me off that, and that was the end of that. But they were checking me for, cholesterol, blood pressure, what else? ACL, ACH, whatever it is, fucking blood sugar, testing me for diabetes, all that shit. Not everything comes back fine. So I'm like, if I'm in perfect health, we're just gonna call it perfect health. Then what's the worst that's gonna happen to me? Like I did have a situation last year where I had an issue with my garage door because my garage door was you know how on the garage doors you have that a cable that holds onto the door, and then it goes up to a pulley that's attached to a spring. Well, something happened to the spring, I guess it detensioned or something, and that cable popped right off the pulley. Unfortunately, the door was in the up position, so I tried to rewind it, but then I realized you can't rewind the cable on the pulley while the door's in the up position. So I'm like, brilliant me decides, I'll just bring the door down. I'll just bring the single 16-foot wide aluminum garage door down without the spring engaged. So the full weight of the fucking door, I'm going to bring down. Yeah, that worked out about as well as you'd imagine. So the door falls, clamps my fucking fingers in the goddamn door. I'm stuck there. I'm screaming for like help. But luckily, my neighbors ran over and hoisted the door up so they could, free my fingers from the door. Otherwise, I was gonna have to figure out a way to reach for something, jam it in there, and pry the fucking door open. But ended up crushing like 3 of my fingers, and so I went to the emergency room for that. Spent half the fucking day there. But sorry, I don't talk very much, so talking is causing me to cough a lot. So that's the last thing I really had to deal with was my hand situation with the crushed fingers. But even then, they didn't do anything. I mean, they put splints on my fingers, and it's like, oh, well, they'll just heal on their own. It's like, it's not like I had a cast or anything. It was just like they literally splinted my fingers and sent me on my way. Well, okay, I take that back. They took since one of my nails basically was just like pulverized, they removed the nail. They removed it because I was lacerated underneath the nail. So they removed the nail, stitched my laceration underneath my nail, and then reattached the nail. I was like, well, who gives a shit about suturing a fucking laceration under my nail? Like, well, it could get infected. Like, all right, whatever. So that's what I had to deal with last year. And oddly enough, that ended up being that whole ER visit, the sutures, the splints, or all that shit, and all the follow-up checkups didn't cost as much as this last visit where they literally just ran a blood panel on me. But I also got different insurance this year, so that probably goes a long way to attribute to that. It also doesn't help that by contrast, my wife is experiencing all sorts of, I don't want to say significant health issues, but she has elevated cholesterol and blood pressure, elevated blood sugar. They say she's pre-diabetic, all of this shit that you think I should have, but I don't. So they got her on a CPAP machine because she's got sleep apnea. And she's been on that for, a year and a half, I think. Well, when we changed over insurance at the beginning of the year, lo and behold, my new insurance company, they covered the hospital that was the parent company of all of these other resources. But unfortunately, the hospital's home health care department wasn't covered by my insurance. I didn't learn this until 2 months after, and ended up getting stuck with 2 months of rental charges on the CPAP machine. So that ended up being like $400 that I had to pay out of pocket. Thank you very much, insurance. So we got that switched over, had to send back the fucking CPAP to them, go to a different place, get a new CPAP that was covered under my new insurance, and start the process over. And it was just like, I just don't see the benefit in having health insurance anymore because it's becoming just so much more of a fucking headache, and they're placing more and more responsibility on us, the consumers, to handle our own affairs and make sure everything's checked out and dotted. And it's like, and I always ask the question, where the fuck does all the money go? It's like, aren't there supposed to be people who are supposed to be checking this and working with this and alerting me to these things, not me having to spend exorbitant amounts of time of my day going over all of this information to make sure it all checks out so I'm not going to get overcharged? It's like that. It's half of my life is doing this now. Fuck it. I'd rather just do without. I'm going to make it work. I mean, but like I said, going back to that, what's the worst that could happen? I break something. Half the time when you break something, you literally just splint it or do something, and you stay off your feet, stay off your, whatever the broken bone is, and you let it heal itself. Whoop-de-doo. If I have a laceration, I'll throw a fucking bandage on it. I'll ace bandage the shit up and leave it for a couple of days. Maybe I'll open it up a little, sometimes put some iodine on it, whatever, and I'll just treat it myself. The hospital's not going to do much more than that except for, put in sutures. If I get sick, I'll get better. The last time I went to the doctor, the whole reason I went to the doctor this year and they ran the blood panels is because I went in with severe abdominal pain for like 2 weeks. But by the time I finally was able to get in to see my doctor, the pain was gone. So she's like, well, and we had a nice discussion about what it could possibly be. And I explained where the pain was, and I kind of went over what I was looking at online and all that. And she's like, well, it sounds like it's probably diverticulitis. I'm like, diverticulitis? She's like, yeah, so it probably just passed on its own, so you'll be okay. It's like, but let's go ahead and run blood panels just in case. Famous last words. I should have just said, no, thank you. If the pain's gone, fuck it. I'm done with it. But nope. Went ahead and did that. And then she's also like, well, since you've had a bout of diverticulitis, we should probably get you in for a colonoscopy to check to make sure everything in your lower GI tract is fine. I was like, at that point, I'm like, set it up, doc, fine, whatever. I think my insurance is fine. So she goes ahead and does that, and then the hospital calls me and says, we show that your last colonoscopy was in 2018. I'm like, yeah. It's like, well, it's been too soon for you to have another colonoscopy. So we're going to schedule it for 2028. I'm like, well, my doctor said I should probably have it. It's like, well, have you been having anything abnormal? I was like, well, yeah, I just had what she believes to be diverticulitis. So like, are you still experiencing pain? Like, no, it passed. Like, well, then you're fine. I'm like, okay, fine. 2028 it. Let's go ahead and schedule that. Hospital. That makes fucking perfect sense. Let's go ahead and schedule something. What is it now? 4 years out? Sounds like a fucking great idea. I'll certainly remember that. But my doctor was also very concerned about getting an MRI because I had needed to follow up on MRI because of the cyst in my pituitary gland. She wants to make sure, like all my previous doctors have wanted to do, was make sure that it's not growing. So she's like, well, you need to get this MRI done. It's been scheduled since last year, and we show it coming up in October, so we'll get that set up. Well, after all of this shit with that one blood test costing me like $400 some or whatever, I'm like, no, I'm not doing this MRI. Fuck it. Because it's gonna cost me several thousands of dollars. I know it's gonna cost that much. And they were even contacting me like, at first they were like, well, we need you to send this to your insurance company to get approval. I'm like, okay, cool, I'll do that. Didn't do it. Next thing you know, I'm getting paperwork from some offshoot of my insurance company saying, oh, well, we went ahead and approved that procedure. I'm like, I didn't even contact you people. And then next thing you know, I'm getting call after call after call from the hospital. Oh, we got approval for that MRI, so we're going to go ahead and set that up. Just call us to confirm. Just call us to confirm. Like every week they're calling me, like, call to confirm the MRI. And I just ghost them because I don't want to fucking do it. I don't want to pay for it. And as far as I'm concerned at this point, if this thing is a tumor, fuck it. Fuck it. I'm not even joking. I don't care. Because I would, and it sounds stupid, sure, I guess, but I don't want to pay for another fucking test and another fucking MRI that shows nothing. I just don't want to do it. I'm tired of it. So, yeah, that's been my past couple of years on the medical front. Hello, Psycho. Again, some blasts from the past. Crazy. Let's see. I'm reading the chat. Yeah, if that's one thing I haven't done for a long time is smoke and drink. Gave that shit up a long time ago. I think I gave that up before I ever started streaming, actually. It's been... I'm coming up on 12 years, actually, of being alcohol-free. I'm probably a good indication I'll never drink again. I just don't really need it. I don't fault anyone else who chooses that lifestyle and wants to do that. I just know I can't. I've never been able to control it, so there's no point in fooling myself otherwise. Why are people saying that Bubonic got married? Did he? I mean, I can't really show any real surprise or whatever. I didn't really know Bubonic all that well to know his situation enough to say one way or the other. I haven't talked to Bubonic in quite a while. I haven't talked to anybody in quite a while, or at least not on the YouTube sphere. I did see that what's his name? What's his fucking name? I'm telling you, my brain. And no, if you're wondering, the memory thing has nothing to do with the cyst. It's in a completely different situation or a location of the brain. Andy Worski, that's his name. Yeah, I saw he's doing that Kino Casino thing. I haven't watched any of it because it just looks like the thing. It just looks like something I would hate. I don't even have to give it a chance. I never really cared for Andy Worski, so I just wonder if he still will do anything for views like so many others. He got married last year and moved. Wow. I say wow. Again, that's like a good for him. I didn't know his situation before or after. He was a good guy, though. I got a kick out of doing the show with him. It's one of those situations where it's like I'm just an unreliable person. I'm too. This never really became a thing. For me, until I stopped drinking, but I've always had ADD my entire life, and it's only gotten significantly worse since I quit drinking, like terribly worse. It's hard for me to focus on things for too long before I just lose interest and move on. I mean, back when I was drinking, I could do shit for a long stretches of time. It was almost like I was self-medicating in that regard, but it helped me control my focus a lot more. But yeah, I'm just too random now. That's the other thing that's been going on with me for the past several years. Is just like I can't stay focused on anything for too long before I start to drift off and start to do other things. I've shifted my interest so many goddamn times. And I've spent countless thousands of dollars on horse shit that just doesn't pan out. My entire garage is filled with woodworking equipment that I've put to almost no use. There for a while, my buddy got me into guns, and I dumped thousands of dollars into guns. And then once COVID hit and everything went sky high, availability of ammunition died off, and the prices of everything went up. Like I just lost interest. I haven't shot any of my guns in probably 2 years. I sold off my AK. Well, fuck Illinois, man. They came down hard. I mean, you can't buy a semi-automatic rifle in Illinois anymore, thanks to the fucking Nazis. So I should have held on to my AK with that in mind, but I just didn't want to pay like the exorbitant prices for ammunition that they were charging. I just couldn't fathom it. I sold off my 10 millimeter because of that. I sold off my AK. I kept, I think, most of everything else. I was trying to sell off my Chris Vector and my KSG, but it's becoming really, really difficult to sell guns in Illinois too. I mean, you really kind of have to do it under the table, and it's not worth it just for the sake that especially in the case of like certain weapons that, did I say I sold an AK? I take that back. I was joking. It was a airsoft AK. No, it's like, I guess it's illegal, now in the state of Illinois. You have to process these through an FFL, and you can't sell it to anyone else in the state of Illinois. You can only sell it to an FFL because they're the only ones who are legally licensed to trade and own firearms like that. I don't even know if they can, to be honest. It's a fucking clusterfuck in Illinois. And if it wasn't for my job, I would have already moved. My wife actually changed jobs this year. The farm that she worked for went belly up. The fucking owner just shit the bed and sold it off to some dude who fucking embezzled millions of dollars and tanked the whole operation. So he had to come back in and salvage it, save everyone's jobs, and then try to sell it off. I mean, the bank basically owned the farm, and they basically brought him in to fucking sell it off to another buyer who happened to be some guy who's like changed the entire landscape, because it was just weaning farms when he owned it, but the guy who bought it wanted to change it to finishing farms. So he laid everybody off except for the maintenance crews and all that he was going to keep on to convert all these farms over to finishing farms. But my wife worked in the accounting department, and he was just like, I'm getting rid of all of this. God only knows if he's actually going to come back from that. I mean, it's a multi-million-dollar process, and it doesn't matter to me anymore. She lost her job. So she had to go to a factory. And because no matter what they fucking tell you about, all these jobs that are available, there's so many jobs out there. Employers go try to find one, because it's not as easy. It's not as prominent as they make it sound. Either that, or they're just standards. I mean, I don't know. You hear one thing online, you hear these people talking, but when you're actually in the thick of it and you have to go through it, it's amazing how finicky and particular these people get. I'm glad I don't have to go through it. I really am, because it would be a goddamn nightmare. Hello, Joseph Rouleau. The great fishing boat accident on my bait and poles. Yes. That's correct. Fishing boat accident. I lost all mine in the river as well, especially my AK and my 10 millimeter. Yeah, it just sucks. I want nothing more than to get out of this fucking state. But I'm glad we didn't. Soraya and I we've entertained this idea of moving to Georgia or North Carolina. But man, after these hurricanes, man, that's not such a good idea. But I don't know. It's one of those situations where it's like, I'm really, really invested in my job. I'm 20 years in. I have an unbelievable pension. And I understand saying that as like, well, that's rolling the dice in this economy, because that shit could bottom out just, at the drop of a hat. And I realize that. But it's all I got, It's really all I got. It's the only reason I'm staying at my job, because it's not like I got a whole hell of a lot going on. I could make the argument that I'm not doing as much as I would like to do, and I feel like whatever I can do, it's starting to slip away because I'm doing less work. I think that's why this year I was trying to get out there and try to find directors who wanted to make movies, so I could really, continue to hone my craft and work on this stuff. But it's the fucking Midwest, man. What are you going to do? These people, everyone has an idea. Everyone has an idea. But when it comes to fleshing that idea out and turning it into reality, that's where everyone's just like, I don't know. I spent a couple of months just saturating the internet with, casting calls, trying to find people. And I ended up finding like insane, apparently I put something out there on some forum or some group on Facebook, and some talent agency picked it up and ran with it. Next thing you know, we're getting inundated with offers from actors like, hey, please bring us on, cast us in your movie, blah, 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 blah. So we were swimming in actors. I was like, well, shit, this has turned out to be really easy. But at the end of the day, the thing that killed it, that killed the whole fucking project is we lost our principal location, which was a hospital. I had lined it up, but under the auspices of trading kind of a tit for tat thing. Like I was going to trade corporate video work for them. I was going to do that for free if they allowed me to shoot the scenes of this movie at their hospital. Everything was going well and good until I talked to the YMCA. I was planning on shooting a scene at the YMCA, in the YMCA shower rooms, because I didn't want to shoot it at the hospital because of the nature of the scene that we were shooting. And I was afraid that it would be a little too risque to shoot at the hospital. And I didn't want to queer that deal because we were going to be shooting a lot at the hospital. So I wanted to remove any sort of potential aspect of them saying no. So I was going to shoot that scene at the YMCA. Well, I talked to the people at the YMCA and they're like, absolutely not. You cannot shoot anything here at our location. I was like, really? Nothing? And that's when I found out that YMCA corporate will not allow anyone to shoot at any of their locations for liability reasons. Their lawyers forbid it, so all of their managers have to turn down everyone. He said, I'm not the first person who's asked him about shooting a movie there. I'm like, well, damn. But after that meeting, it really got me thinking about the hospital. I'm like, oh shit. It's like I may have stepped on a landmine and not even realized it. Because I sort of invoked my employer to make the deal with the hospital, and that was the mistake that ended up killing the project. Because honestly, had I not done that, I probably would have just pushed through and said, nobody's going to see the movie anyway. We'll shoot it and it'll be all right. But my fear at that point was that if anyone saw the movie and was upset with the questionable material that was taking place and could identify that we used this hospital, to film, they'd go after the hospital. The hospital would be pissed because of what I shot, and the person who gave me, gave me the authorization to shoot there would be pissed at me because I didn't let them know what the content of the movie was and that there might be a problem with, the objectionable material. And then they'd go to my employer and my employer would show me right out the fucking door. So done enough. And it sucks because we had all the actors lined up. We had the script ready to go. We were 2 weeks away from beginning principal photography. 2 weeks. And the whole fucking thing goes up in flames. I love it. I love the Midwest. I love lawyers. I love hospitals. It's fucking great. Just fantastic. Companies are always asking for new talent. It scares employees into not acting out. Well, I don't know. Just get into porn. well, I guess I can't say that. It'd be foolish of me to say that porn doesn't get shot in the Midwest. But anymore, it's like everyone's doing for themselves. I mean, even in porn. I mean, now it's all like OnlyFans and shit like that, where it's all these influencer types like doing their own. They don't need studios or whatever. They certainly don't need cameramen. I don't think it'd sit well with my wife. If you pay me well enough, you can film a great scene in my bedroom. Well, unless your bedroom is a hospital, then the whole movie was about these orderlies in a mental institution that would, like, sexually assault the patients. It culminating in a murder. It was a murder mystery, kind of a murder mystery sort of deal, but the style of the director and the guy who wrote it and was going to direct it, it was in such a way to where his style is very unique, and I really wanted to work with him because he writes characters that there's no one redeeming in his stories. Everyone's deplorable pieces of shit, and we were gonna push that to the max. Everyone was gonna be filthy, and everything was gonna have this veneer of like grease and sweat, and just everything was gonna seem like it was hot and just nasty, and everyone was gonna be douchebags, and you couldn't root for anyone because everyone was just scumbags in the movies. And that's kind of the way he hit all his stories, not all of his stories, but some of his stories are. He focuses on things like that, and he's always big into revenge. Like that's one of his through lines. But the story was crafted in such a way to where it wasn't obvious. There was nothing obvious about what was being presented. You kind of had to read further into it, and it was still left open to interpretation. We were really stressing on this idea that you wouldn't know if the protagonist of the movie was a killer or if he was just fucking around, fucking bullshitting people and just a crazy person. You were always kind of like up in the air, and it sucks. It pains me that we never really got to do anything with it. So it is what it is. It's just another fucking movie that I've tried to work on with some director who abandoned. Well, I guess he didn't abandon the project. It sort of fell out, beyond our control. But I was working with another director who we shot a bunch of scenes for this movie. One night we spent I'm not going to say we spent that much time. We spent one night, a 16-hour day-night cycle shooting these scenes, and it was supposed to be a short that was he was hoping to generate some funds because it was a short that he derived from this longer script that he had written, and he wanted to use this as a way to drum up some investment capital to basically make his full movie. I was down for that, like, let's do it. So we get these scenes shot, and then his fucking life falls apart. He was engaged to get married, and what he didn't tell me at the time is that his engagement had officially ended right before we started shooting. And his ex-fiance is right there. And they're just kind of doing, like, I don't pick up on the fact that there's any tension, but it's like, I'm just there to shoot, and I don't find out till afterwards, like weeks later, that, oh, well, that's over with, because his personal situation had fallen apart. One of the actresses that we were shooting was instrumental in apparently swaying his fiancée away from him, according to him. And so all those scenes are basically just, in the can, useless. So I was just like, that's fucking great. And this was we started that project in 2020. It started as he wanted me to help him film a sizzle reel for a movie he was pitching. It was his script. He was pitching this script to Blumhouse. His agents had got him set up with a meeting right before COVID hit. So and this is before the lockdowns really took place. This was like back in February. of 2020. And he's like, yeah, I want to put together this sizzle reel to bring to the meeting, to present to them, to try to option out this script. I was like, cool, I'll help you. So we set to work to shooting all this stuff, spend a couple of days, getting some shots. And then COVID happens and the lockdowns start to happen. And then the meeting just keeps getting pushed and keeps getting pushed. No one wants to fucking meet in person because of the fear of the deadly COVID, 19 virus or whatever the fuck. I can't remember what it's called. Brain sucks. And then that just kind of went away, because after that, Blumhouse they changed their entire strategy. They really, I think they started devoting a lot more focus into developing for Netflix and getting away from actual indie film. So their priorities had changed, and it kind of left my buddy high and dry. Since then, he, after emotionally recovering from his personal affairs, he decided that he was going to turn his story into a novel, and he was going to make it some episodic thing that goes back into the 90s and all that. And that's what he's been working on, that quite literally for 3 years. So he doesn't want to do a goddamn thing anymore. So he's out of the mix. That's what I spent this year trying to do, was like, once he confirmed that he was not pursuing the movie anymore and was just focusing on writing a novel, I had to try to find somebody else to work with. And I only knew one other author, and he was a friend of mine who I went to school with, same graduating class. And I figured this guy'd be perfect. He's, and I asked him about it. And he said, yeah, I'm really interested. I've always wanted to make a movie. And we set our sights on doing that. And he shot me one idea that was great. And I fucking would love to fucking do this movie. But it's just beyond the budget's beyond what we could possibly do. And the name of it's fucking hilarious. He called it Night of the Kick Fighters. I don't even know it has nothing to do with kick fighting. I don't know what that even fucking means, but it's like what was I calling it? It was like, I don't know. It was like a weird 80s style of movie. I don't know if you've ever heard of the movie My Science Project, but it kind of reminds me of, well, not really. It's not that weird. It doesn't involve like time travel and alternate dimensions and shit. It's basically just some guy comes back to his hometown with a group full of mercenaries and basically just shuts the town down and starts to kill everyone. So it's, in that way, it's kind of like Hobo with a Shotgun, sort of. But it's just like, it's done in such a weird 80s kind of like way. So it's like a stoner group combats this gang of mercenaries who take over a town. But in true fashion of my buddy, like, everyone in the town ends up dying in the end. Because there's like a giant like cache or whatever of ammonia, like in a storage tank at this factory out on the edge of town, and the mercenaries like blow up the ammonia tank, and all the ammonia spills into the town and kills everyone, and they ended up escaping down the river. But it's like, it's funny if you know the guy, because he absolutely hates our hometown. And all of his stories are like getting revenge on everyone in his hometown. But it was the way it was written, and just the vibe I got off it was so fucking awesome. I was like, man, I really want to do this. But I mean, it involved massive amounts of actors. I mean, he had like 3 bus loads full of mercenaries. I was like, dude, we got to think about this, because you're going to have to cast all these people. Like, where the hell are you going to get all these people? 1, 2, where are you going to get 3 fucking buses? And 3, one of his scenes involved the mercenaries overturning a bus in front of a bridge and basically blocking the bridge and then setting the fucking buses on fire. I was like, how the fuck are we going to do all of this? I mean, this is insane. It's like, you're basically talking about, I mean, I know you probably don't understand this, but the state is not going to allow you to block off a bridge. Like, that's one of those things where it's like, that's one of the only access ways across like the Illinois River. You can't do that. They're not going to approve that. He's like, well, maybe we could like do it on a road and then just like try to CG the bridge in or whatever. I was like, okay, cool. Do you know anyone who can do that in CG? Because I certainly can't. But and that's kind of where the idea. It's like, I told him, it's like, if we could pitch this around and find people who could help with this, it'd be fantastic. I'd love to do it, but maybe we should work on a different script. And that's when he came up with the story of June. And I loved it because it was of its simplicity and the fact that it wasn't a typical, killer story, but it was in a certain sense, but it left a lot to imagination. And it was almost like a Todd Solondz movie. I don't know if you're familiar at all with the director Todd Solondz, but it felt a lot like that. Kind of like a cross between like a Harmony Korine, Todd Solondz sort of thing. And I was like, this would be awesome if we can do this. And I think a lot of people take notice. And everyone we sent the script to was dying to be in this movie because it read so well. And they recognized that it wasn't just some shitty, because most of what you get around here for like independent film is just shitty fucking horror movies, like really poorly made, vanity projects that always involve like some dude like killing some hot girl just because he wants to like see her tits, or something like that. It's very shallow and very, it is what it is. And what he was doing was just, it was a lot more provocative and thought provoking. And I really feel like I could go on and on and on about my regret, but it's just an obstacle moving forward. It's one of those things where you just kind of have to fucking take your lumps and keep going, something that would be on Red Letter Media. I don't know about that. Maybe not. I mean, I guess it all depends on the execution, really. I'd like to feel like we would be able to do something that would elevate it above that, but it's hard to say. I mean, the Night of the Kick Fighters would have been, I think that would have been elevated above that. I think it would have been campy in a great sense, but it would have been a fun sort of throwback camp. But again, that's one of those situations where it's like a script like that deserves having like some actual names thrown at the project. And you could make the argument that it could be done, but I'm a nobody. He's a nobody. Who are we to start going out and trying to find named talent and rope them into a project and then try to find investors who are going to throw money. I mean, I talk about it like it's impossible. It happens all the time, but that's for people who know this business and who actually go out and do it. Like I don't know what I'm doing, and I'm the most knowledgeable guy on the fucking project, and I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Not in that regard. It's like I run a camera, I edit, I do the shit like that. That's what I know. He knew at writing. He never directed before, but he was a published author. I'm a video production guy. I figured the two of us could get together and make something happen. My other friend who was pitching to Blumhouse, I mean, he fucking works for CBS. He can't make inroads, even for himself on his own stories. He's written so many goddamn screenplays, and not a one of them have really gotten very far. I mean, it's a tough road. It really is. But in the meantime, I'm wrapped up in some other thing. Never regret. That's self-defeat. No, it's just recounting things that could have been different. I mean, I'm not letting it stop me for sure. I'm constantly push on. Case in point, this weekend I am going to be shooting a couple of scenes with some dude who wants to make a movie. let's just say, all right, I am going to pretend that he is watching this stream. He's not, but I'm going to pretend he is. And I'm going to be honest and direct. And I'm going to say, we're not shooting a movie. We're shooting 2 scenes. He approached me about doing this because he wanted to make a movie. And I thought, and I heard from other people, it's like, oh, this he's been talking about wanting to make this movie. He's looking for people to help him. It's like, give him my number. I'll help him. I got the equipment. I'm looking for work. Let's do this. We meet up, and then I find out he doesn't have a movie. He's got some ideas. He's got some scenes, and he's got some ideas. So we talk about it a little bit during our little meeting, and he's like, cool. Well, I'll take all this information. I'll go back with it. He gets back to me a couple of weeks later, and he's like, yeah, I got it set up, everything. And he's very tongue-in-cheek, very tight-lipped, very close to the vest. But he's like, yeah, I'm going to set it up for October 20th. We're going to shoot something. He sends me what he's got. It's 4 pages, 2 scenes. I'm like, all this time, we're only shooting 2 scenes. And I still don't know if he's shooting it or I'm shooting it, if he just wants to shoot it and I edit it. So I'm like, I think I have bad ADD. He's fucking off the spectrum. So trying to get actual information from him is very difficult. But it's something that he's calling Clown House. Take a wild guess what it's about. And basically the scene that we're shooting is a psychiatrist meeting with a dude to discuss this attempted murder charge that he got from some thing that happened at some slaughterhouse that he works at. And then the guy goes nuts and kills the psychiatrist. And then at some point after he's beaten this poor psychiatrist to death, some clowns appear. And yeah, that's the scene. Tonight he messaged me about the opening credits. And he sent me a video that he'd shot of him hauling a body. Well, it looked like how shrunken heads are like tiny little skulls. It was like he vacuum sealed a body, or what do you call it, dried it out, like vacuum or freeze dried a human body down to like a pencil thin thing, wafer. And he just shows him dragging it and trying to bury it. And I'm like, this is, let me preface this. This is the 4th credit sequence he sent me for this movie. So I'm like, and he's asking me, well, would this work, or will this be better at a different point? What's your opinion? I'm like, well, my opinion is that what's the fucking point of making a credit sequence for 2 scenes? All we're shooting is 2 scenes. The fact that you're hung up on a credit sequence blows my mind, because we don't even have a fucking movie yet. We're shooting 2 scenes. I don't want to give off the impression that this is a fucking waste of time, but it's starting to feel like a real waste of time. But if there's anything I can truly say, I have a lot of time to waste. So fuck it, I'm down. If anything, I get more footage to play around with, which is ultimately what I'm looking for. Clown dick. No, I'm not going to be looking at clown dick. I'm hoping there's no dick in it. It's just going to be a lot of cursing. Yeah, if there's one thing I say, I curse like a sailor, but if there's one thing I can truly say, I don't care for movies or scripts that I get, screenplays, scripts, whatever, that have like excessive cursing in it, because I feel like it's just, I don't know, it just seems childish. I kind of want to share the script, but oh, fuck it. Oh, let me think about this. You know what? I'm gonna do that, because I don't want to give this guy's information away. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I can't access it on this computer. Ah! Wait a minute. Let me... Fuck. Yeah, I can't access it on this computer. Ah, fuck. Well, it was worth a shot. Sorry. Anywho. This is Dylan Heck. This is actually one of the actors that we had cast in the movie that I was going to be supposed to shoot in July. And that's why he's still on my feed. He was in a movie recently. Let me see if I can pull it up. I'm sure I can. This movie. This is called Effed Tales from the End Times. And it was it's an horror anthology that features a director from my neck of the woods named Ash Hamilton, a fellow Full Sail graduate who half the cast that we were going to be using in our movie actually came from, unbeknownst to me. But I'll play this, and this is kind of the typical fare of what is expected around here, or what you get from filmmakers around here. And I think that guy is like an actual legit actor. This guy right here on screen. I don't know what he's from, but I know I've seen his face before. He usually plays like a gangster.
Death will have no hold. However, when that door does open, we will be imbued with celestial power.
Turn up my speakers.
Life will be eternal.
Oh, wait, can you even see him? My fucking face is in the way. Son of a bitch. Well, that was bad sales. I got a little story about this, too.
Bring a knife with you. This is the ultimate tool.
You're gonna be going long.
I'm not gonna make it till morning.
No, he did not play Kane in Command and Conquer, did he?
I tried everything I could.
The end of the world is here. And it's now.
Everything worth fighting for is gone.
Yes. The end is here. The funny thing about this, I guess it's not really, it's not really funny, but this movie has been completed for the entire year, as far as I know. And the directors have been literally just sitting on it for months and months and months. Like back when I hooked up with the actors that I was casting for our movie, they were telling me, oh yeah, well, you know, they got to take it around the festival circuit and do all this and blah, blah, blah. And then they're going to have their grand, you know, red carpet fucking premiere shit at, you know, in October, which was, you know, literally just last week, I think was when the red carpet was. I'm like, okay, well, all that's done. Now where can you find the movie? Still don't know. I'm like, if there's one, the pet peeve I have about independent movie directors is that they make the entire process of wanting to see their movie or trying to see their movie as horrifyingly difficult as possible. Like nobody wants to jump through this many goddamn hoops just to see this, you know? And I just get so aggravated. It's like I come from a different school, so to me it's like if you're a nobody, just put your shit out there. It's all promotion at this point. I mean, I don't know how the fuck any of these people are going to be making money off this in this day and age. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. I don't know. But when I can't even figure out where I can even find this to stream it or purchase it or whatever, then it's probably not going to make very much money. I mean, call me crazy. But here I am still like months and months and months. Like, and all the actors, that was, I don't want to tell, fuck it. The actors I talked to, they all echoed the same sentiment as that the directors wouldn't give them copies of the movie so they could like show friends and family, you know, and have to watch for themselves so they can appreciate their work, maybe learn a little bit about it. They never got to see the actual movie the whole time they were showing it around at these festivals. And that's one of those things that really just fucking irks me. It's like, God, like when you do even your cast, you do that to them. It's like, fuck it. It's an independent fucking movie. It's a low budget independent movie. It's not gonna get you noticed. I mean, just put it out there. Why be so fucking pretentious about it? But of course, who am I? I am the guy who's sitting here having never made a movie versus these guys who have made a movie. So they obviously know more than me. But one day I'll have a movie under my belt and then all my criticisms will be valid. Psycho says, I'm a hairist. My hair is past my shoulders. I'm a bigot and don't care. All bald men are the same to me. Okay. I know I've seen the guy. So I don't know his name even. Like, I don't know. I guess if I IMDb'd this. Let's see. IMDb. Can I even find it? Let's find out. Effed. Robert Lasardo. Right? Is that him? Yes. He's known for The Mule, Nip Tuck, CSI Miami, and Death Race, among other things. Jesus Christ, he's probably got a fucking list as long as time itself. I'm looking for a name of something where I would have actually seen it and recognized him from. Yeah, I've never watched any of this shit. In Hell? No. The Shield, maybe. Maybe that's where I saw him from. Which that was a long fucking time ago. That's 2002. Man. No, it couldn't have been that. It had to have been something more recent. X-Files back in 2000. Jesus Christ. Wishmaster 2. Strangeland. I haven't seen that either. What am I talking about? Gang related. 1997. How old is this motherfucker? Holy shit. Waterworld? The guy was in fucking Waterworld. The Professional? Client number 1. Client number 1. Yeah, I don't. Holy shit. Hard to Kill? He was a punk. So he's been doing the movie thing since 1987. Wow. He's gotta be old as fuck at this point. That's crazy. I'd have to go back and watch The Professional and see if I remember. I don't know, but yep, that's him. Let me go back to this. I don't recognize any of the other people. They're all just, people. Ash Hamilton is the guy I was talking about. He's this is him, and he is known for Holes in the Sky, the Sean Miller story. That's why you think he's Kane. He's old as fuck. Maybe so. This Sean Miller story, I actually tried to watch it, and I think I got a half an hour into it, and I just couldn't stick with it because it was just so fucking boring. Everyone who's actually watched it all the way through has said it gets better, but I'm like, dude, I mean, if I gotta wait more than a half an hour before shit starts to get good, count me out. But I don't know, one of these days maybe I'll give it another shot, but I don't know. It's hard to tell. But if you ever have, are looking around and, stumble across Holes in the Sky, you can check it out, and then you'll know what this guy's done. For what it's worth. I'm not recommending it. I'm just saying it's out there. He's made a few films now, CEO of his own filmmaking company. Who, that Lasardo guy? Escobar Gallardo in the FX hit series Nip Tuck. Is it this guy? I don't think he's in Command and Conquer though. I think that would have been on his IMDb. Isn't the fucking guy who plays Kane? Wasn't that hold on. We're going right to the source, not Red Alert. No, I'm thinking of Yuri. So who played Kane? Joseph D. Kukin? They don't even have his fucking picture. I want to watch Holes in the Capillary starring Andy Worski. Friend's name is Daniel Greisheimer. Oh, this is something from earlier. Oh, I have a friend that made his movie a couple years ago. He rented a local movie theater, made a weekend of it, and packed the house. Still can't find it either. I mean, isn't that always the way, though? It's like, that's what I mean. Like, it's cool to want to do something, to have a project that you're really interested in, and try to put as much as you can into it. But to get such a big head to where you think, like, this is going to be the thing, and this is going to be what, I mean, that is not the fucking way it works. Your passion project does not equate to audience enjoying what you do. So, if anything, you should be using your talents not to make yourself a local hero, but to parlay that into something that's going to be bigger. But that's not the way. It's kind of like, I came up from high school on being in, rock bands and shit. And it's very much, to me, it's very similar to that delusion of thinking like, just because you wrote a few songs and maybe recorded a CD, that you're somehow going to make it big. And, no, you won't. The odds are stacked against you hard. So this is the guy, Daniel Greisheimer. Am I saying that right? Is he okay? He's slowly building up in his early 30s. So is he an actor or is he? Oh, he's the director too. So where do you get access to all of this? Can't cite me if I say it's not me. Yeah, IMDb is another one of those aspects of like, I just want to be on IMDb. Like, okay. Where can you see the movie, though? The Emporium. I wonder if it's on the YouTubes. There's the Thought Emporium. Maybe I have to... I can't spell that name. I'm going to type that in. The Emporium. Daniel Greisheimer. Well, here's some stuff. It's not the movie, but what's this?
I'm Daniel Greisheimer.
Oh, Greisheimer. See, I fucked that all up.
I actually got involved. Dylan and Eric got me interested into making a film.
Dylan and Eric?
And,
how unfortunate.
Like, we have this part pretty much for you. And it's pretty much fit down my type of personality. And yeah, that's how I got brought on board. And I'm a producer as well on the project. And yeah. It's actually different than any other zombie movie. It's actually, there's a good story to it.
Horn?
Coming of age story. And the cast members, they're really talented.
Oh, him. That's Horn.
What really attracted me is the networking behind the scenes, and where we actually grow like as a family.
So what the fuck is this? Just...
So yeah, new people and new possibilities. Who in the film is actually more like a support actor?
Okay. What else do we have? What's this? Was this the same guy?
I'm going to give it a little sec. All right, here we are. One of the best actual production companies from Ohio. One of the absolute best businessmen from Ohio.
Said tall guy went to Hollywood for a year and said no way, came home and just started his own. Yeah, it's kind of the way to do it. That's how my buddy, fucking Luther, it's how my buddy who works for CABS did it. He moved out to LA. He works on the show Big Brother, and during COVID, it basically changed everything to where he could work remotely. So he just bought a house back in his hometown, and he's been living there and working remotely when the show's on the air. He occasionally has to go out there for some meetings. Like he's out in California right now, finishing up this season, and then he flies back, I think, Friday. So, or maybe tomorrow. And then I think maybe he flies back tomorrow. I'm just going to meet up with him Friday, but nevertheless, pretty sweet gig. He goes, I mean, he's only working with, it's a sweet gig if you consider the fact that it's not a full-time gig. So he's only working when the show's on. So he has to look for supplementary stuff, which I always make the argument, well, let's go out and fucking shoot. But I don't know. It's one of those things. But, yeah, I am always looking for projects to fucking work on, because I'm just so tired of the same shit over and over. One of the guys in that movie that I pulled up, the effed, oh, let me see if I can find it. Where are you at? Is it there? That guy. He's an actor I've actually worked with. We cast him in our movie June that we never got to shoot. But in the interim, while I was waiting to do that, I liked this guy's reel a lot, and I was like, I really wanted to get a better sense of his performance. So I cast him in a commercial, and he did really well. He did really good. I'd love to get him into some more stuff, but again, like, I'm not a writer. I don't write. You know, I know how to work a camera, but I can show you what he has done for me. Maybe. No. I'm going to type in my shit. I should hide that. No. I don't give a fuck. It's my other YouTube channel. But here's the commercial I shot with
I told
him.
myself I'd change if I ever hit rock bottom. Rock bottom. What is that? I told myself it's not something I need to care about. I'm in control. I'm better than that. What they don't tell you is that you don't hit rock bottom. Rock bottom hits you. I felt I needed to change long before I wanted to. But it's not like life waits around for you to get yourself straight. Pressure from all sides to change. Pressure to fail comes from within. Believing that I couldn't be happy without it. Never imagining the person that I could eventually become. When I couldn't see myself for what I truly was, I needed to see through others' eyes. And that takes trust. Trusting others, trusting yourself, acceptance, learning, grace, reawakening.
This, I wrote that commercial. It's actually based on my, well, I should say this. It's based on my experiences with sobriety. But it's like, you know, what do you call it? Hyperbolically accentuated. Most of that shit is completely farcical. Gay, exactly. Trying to write a script. I don't feel like my story of sobriety is something that's like inspirational. I mean, it's literally just like I stopped. I wanted to stop and I stopped. But everyone expects that degree of, you know, compassion or some sort of inspirational story to exist and all of that. And it's like, it's just mundane bullshit. I guess my thing was like, it's for that community hope and recovery. It's part of their counseling programs to try to get people, you know, to deal with addiction and things like that, where it's like part of the process is to, you know, accept others and accept help and do all this. And it's like, I've never had any positive experience with that. I feel like that's just a good way to fall back into old traps, you know, especially if you're trying to kick old habits. To me, what do you call it? Addiction, like what do you call it? I don't know what the official term is, but it's like supplementing one addiction for another, or replacing one addiction for another addiction. And the addiction, to that degree, to me, is the attention you get for quitting. And once that fades, once you're done telling people like, oh, applause, I quit, I ended my addiction. Oh, isn't that so great? People get tired of that. They're like, oh, well, you know, they'll give you all the accolades at first, but over a while it fades. And then, but you're still craving that need, you know, that desire to have people pat you on the back for what's basically just a mundane accomplishment. And you're not getting it anymore, so it's easy to fall back into old habits because, you know, this new addiction is no longer taking effect of what it's no longer replacing the need you have inside yourself that the alcohol then comes back or the drugs come back and take place, whatever. Long story short, you don't need anybody. So all of that was bullshit. It was just for a commercial, but I thought he did a really good job. I thought he conveyed it well, and he kind of understood. He has his own issues with addiction as well, so he felt like the words kind of like he could really. He's one of those actors who's like wants to feel shit and get really into certain things, like, and that's why I'm not a director, because that shit makes my skin crawl. I'm not into all this artsy fartsy horse shit. I'm a technical guy, so, you know, but we did pretty good. I learned to write when I was an ordained elder. Ministry school taught us how to get published. Crazy Joe was in here earlier. His history teacher, combat engineer, and a hell of a prop guy. You just got done with it. Addiction switching. Saw that when I was a crisis interventionist years ago. Let's celebrate your 12 years of sobriety. The only thing I get to celebrate is that I don't have to fucking wake up hungover anymore or deal with a 3-day fucking hangover. I can be free of that nonsense. I'm addicted to fiat currency or what? I can't. My eyes suck. And smoke weed to forget. I'm addicted to fiat in general. I have you know how many Jeeps I have? I have a Cherokee, a Compass, and a Wrangler. Fucking Stellantis has me by the balls. Outside of that, yeah, it's just like that's all I do is make commercials, and I'm so fucking tired of. Let me take that back. I'm not tired of making commercials. I love making commercials. I make money making commercials. So commercials are fine. They're just not great artistic endeavors. I really want to work in a film, but that's the hard part. I've been doing commercials for 20 years, so I haven't done one single movie from start to finish, unless you count my shitty short films that I've done with my friends back in the day, which I don't. The only other thing I've done is like, well, it's right there on the screen. Now, I'm not going to subject you to the footage of the failed attempt at a movie, but I enjoyed it. I thought it's funny though because the actors they're all right, but their performances conveyed the words better than they read on paper. Like if you just read what the guy wrote, it's kind of seemed cringy, but to hear them, to watch them perform it in the scene and to hear their inflections and watch it come to life, it really did modify it and change it into something that was, interesting. And I think it elevated the overall, words to something better, which is odd considering he shifted his focus to writing a novel instead of making a movie. It is what it is. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. I actually, speaking of the old days, I think it was earlier this year, I happened to have an email address for. Well, I dug up one of my old email addresses I had for contacting failure. And I sent him an email, but he never got back to me. I think, I have no idea where he's at, what he's doing. He probably ran screaming from the internet. But boy, I just wanted to touch base with him, talk to him and, see how life's been treating him. I kind of think about that in regards of some of those people, not necessarily everyone. I know Vamp's still doing her Twitch channel, but I haven't reached out to her in years. Couldn't tell you what fuck Tonka or any of those other guys are doing. He lost weight. How do you know that? Is he on YouTube or on Twitch or something? See, I've been out of the loop for so long. Lots of weight, really? Are you fucking with me? How do you know this? See, I don't think I ever said anything real shitty to failure that would cause him to not talk to me. Then again, who knows? I say shit all the time and don't remember half the shit I say, so I never had a problem with failure. I know things. That's helpful. Now, I'd like to reconnect with him. He always seemed like an interesting dude. The thing about failure that always just amazed me is how he just was like, he plows straight through any sort of like apprehension that most people have about reaching out to people and contacting people and making connections and things like that. He just like went right for the fucking goal line. It was incredible to watch him where he just did not give a fuck. And it was amazing. You know, you hear it all the time. Like, just reach out to him. All they can say is no. But a lot of people are like, they're so afraid of hearing that no that they would never do it. And failure didn't give a fuck. It's like, yeah, I'll do it. And then he ended up with contacts of every fucking person you've ever heard about, you know, on YouTube. It was incredible. I'll reach out. It would be a fun stream. Is he streaming? Can you tell me what channel does he do? Is he on Twitch? Is he on YouTube? Is there something of his I could see? I'm very interested in this now. I mean, I honestly don't know how I would be able to bring someone on to this stream and talk to him. Those are so far back in the past. He doesn't do. Are you? You must be on your phone. I just know how to contact him. Oh, okay. Well, then how do you know he's lost weight? Did he tell you he lost weight? Or did you see a picture? I'm just very, very interested now. I must know. I must know what happened with failure. Well, he knows how to email me. He's still got my contact information from back in the day. I haven't changed my email address. So if he wants to reach out to me, he can. You know, that'd be cool. I mean, I tried reaching out to him. I couldn't get through to him, so he'll have to reach out to me. But yeah, I mean, if I could work it out, fuck, I'd do a stream with him again. I don't even have to stream with him. I just fucking hook up a Zoom call or whatever and just have a chat with him. That'd be fun. Because let's face facts, I don't know if I'm ever going to stream again. This is like, I set up OBS on, this is probably the third computer I've set up OBS on in the past 4 years with the intention of streaming, and then I'll stream once and then never stream again. So, who knows? I could stream again, maybe. There's only so much I can talk about, though. I always get to that point where I'm like, no one wants to hear about my life, let alone me. I have to live it. I don't want to fucking talk about it. But that was always my hang up with, you know, before. Like, if I don't talk about things I know, then what do I talk about? I talk about horse shit, you know. The Cringe Factory was the closest thing I had to fucking doing something outside of like what I knew. And that was not too far off. I mean, shit, that I was really into the cringe aspect of that and finding those videos and whatever. But Kiwi Farms and being a friend lets me find people. You know what? I have never in my life been to Kiwi Farms. Not even once. I don't know why. I guess I'm just not really... That and Encyclopedia Dramatica. Those are two sites I've never been to. I always... I've been to fucking like 4chan more than I've been to fucking... Well, a lot more because I've never been to those sites. Hello, Victor Rand. Horseshit is fine. Yes, it is. I don't know what you're talking about. Did I say something about my life being horseshit? I don't know. It's all fucked. I should interview people. I should just try to bring people on and interview them again. Do that shit. Who knows? I don't fucking know. I have a very low tolerance for everything and everyone. Except for this guy. That's why he's on the fucking screen. Jesus Christ. What the hell do you put on a screen, though? I mean, honestly. I'm going to try to find this. Food Emporium. Somebody said a name of site. I'm going to have to go back to that to find movies. Damn it. Looking. I can't find it. My eyesight is fucked. I have to go out and get my 2.5 magnifying glasses to be able to read the chat. ActVid. That's what it is. Oh, Victor Rand knows what's been going on with Failure? How? What's he up to? Fess up. Let's hear it, Victor. It wouldn't surprise me, but it would surprise me if Failure actually starts streaming again. That would surprise me. But the idea that he would ever like reach out to me or any of the old crew again, be like fucking, that'd be the remarkable part. I have no idea what's going on with Failure. I assume he's still doing Uber Eats. Yeah, like I said, like he went away and that be it. I'm actually shocked that Red Feather hasn't popped in. She always finds the stream like days after I'm done with it and then leaves a comment about how, I missed the stream. The one time a year I stream. I could probably stream more. I don't know. I gotta think of a fucking reason to do it. It beats the hell out of just, writing the script I've been trying to write. What was I going to do? God damn. Oh. ActVid. You may block all ads. Close. No, fucking whatever. Who's Discord? Oh, son of a bitch. Okay. Sorry, I can't go to that website because it's replete with fucking pop-ups. I haven't had Discord in a long time. A long time. I wouldn't even know if I could get back into it. I have no real desire to. I was never really big into Discord to begin with, and holy fuck. Even hearing that name just sends chills through my body. I hated fucking Discord. RF is always over at Ranting Monkey stream. Ranting Monkey. Who's that? Let's find out. Ranting Monkey. Feels like I should know who this is. Ugh. Covering all the big news. Oh, people still play Helldivers 2? I thought everyone mass exodus that fucking game. Yeah, later. Enjoy your game. Oh yeah, I have been following the Nick Rekieta fucking disaster. 21 hours ago.
Love that my body always is like, clear your throat right as I click go live. Oh, hang on 1 second. This
Oh my
is a lot
God.
better. Ladies and gentlemen,
Right off the
Monday morning.
fucking bat. Right off the fucking bat. I cannot fucking believe Undoomed is still around. Holy fucking shit. I completely forgot that dude existed. Holy shit. Ugh. Got a 4090. Fuck all that. I bought a 3070 Ti 2 years ago, back when the GPU fucking shortage was in like nearing the end, and I kept telling everyone, I was like, I'm gonna buy a fucking I'm just gonna break down and buy a GPU, and the day I do it is when the prices are gonna come down, and it happened. I was so pissed. I ended up paying like fucking $1,000 for a 3070 Ti. Yeah. I fucking got screwed. And literally the next week, the fucking prices dropped in half. I was so fucking pissed. I was telling everybody for months after that, it's like, you can thank me for ending the GPU shortage, because it's like the whole world was waiting for me to buy one before they fucking released them and dropped the fucking prices. Cocksuckers. So yeah, since then I've been sticking with that because I'm not sinking any more money into that. I'm so bitter. But it is what it is. This name sounds familiar. Stargazer Knights. That name sounds very familiar.
Morning. I am Monkey. He's Jack. Say hi, Jack.
Hi, everybody.
And
Now I'm just watching
joining
someone
us
else's
tonight,
stream.
Undoomed, my friend. How are you?
How you doing?
Living
Man,
the
he's
dream.
sounding old.
Living the dream. All right. Yeah, I'm doing good too. How you doing, Jack?
I'm all right. Glad to hear you're doing well.
Yeah. So what's up for tonight?
Tonight,
Is this what-
I've taken like the last 2 days off, and kind of a catch-up show.
Is this what everyone does now?
So,
I mean, is this the
lots of
thing?
stuff,
Like,
and it's gonna go all.
I mean,
over
I
the
get it.
place.
This
But we're gonna
this
start
just like
with
going back to
the
2016,
quartering, because
2017,
your post
basically.
annoyed the shit out of me.
Okay.
He just.
Yeah, I mean,
posted-
it's obviously
Can I just ask
Google,
you before, can you hear me? all right?
whatever.
You sound a little bit distant.
But
Yeah, because I got like these gaming headset on. Like,
it's literally just the old format.
It is what
It's
it
the
is.
fucking format.
No,
my mic is packed in a drawer.
I mean,
somewhere, and
I guess I
moving
can't
all the shit
fucking,
around, so.
talk
Are
shit.
you, like moving, or just
2071
No,
views.
just rearranging my room, so I don't have my regular mic.
No, you sound fine. We've had far worse audio on this show.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, I just wanted to check.
No, you're good.
I cannot believe
No,
Undoomed.
Go ahead.
I cannot
Yeah,
believe
so
Undoomed is still
apparently
around.
there's a
I figured he
movie,
would have hung it up.
Speak No Evil, I think is what it's called.
I mean,
And
he's.
I-
Well, I don't
this
want
has
to
been
talk
bothering
shit.
me,
Like, is he
especially in the
still
gaming
doing any
sphere
good?
lately. So many people
I mean,
are-
if he's doing a fucking
That's so woke.
stream with other
His-
people.
His problem with the movie is that in the horror /
Oh.
thriller genre, the protagonist is a woman, a small woman, and therefore it's wokey. I'm like, but that's a staple of the fucking genre.
Hello, Jolly Rogers Bilgewater.
I mean, the final girl and all that.
Yes.
Completely forgot most things in the last 2 years. Yeah.
Guys, when you make
I forget
everything
everything
woke
about
when
10
it's
minutes after
not,
it happened. My
you
brain's
just make
fucked.
The actual claims of it seem frivolous.
I was promised that I would see Red
Yeah, I
Feather
mean,
in
if
this
it's a
chat.
horror movie, it's supposed to
I guess I
be
wasn't
frivolous.
promised, but
That's the
I,
thing.
what does she
that's-
lurk this channel?
Cliche. I mean,
Yes.
it's been done in slasher movies since the 70s.
Yes,
Not
exactly.
new.
I mean, it's
it's
from
been
the
done
original
in-
Halloween.
Yeah.
Go all the way back to the Grimm's fairy tales, for fuck's sake. How many of those were a little girl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are they talking about? I don't
It's
even know
not
what they're
woke
talking
because
about.
of that. But anyway, let's hear its argument.
That is the argument.
Wait, that it's a girl?
That it's a 95-pound girl. Oh, and the husband is stupid.
Okay, but the husband is always.
Oh, usually there. Okay.
That's kind of a. irritating.
Bro, I didn't
thing.
write it.
No, but that's irritating. I don't like it that they always make men stupid.
No, but that's not.
Well, Undoomed
that's
sounds
necessarily quote.
particularly
That's just
sober
a
in this
bad
stream.
yeah. That's just lazy writing.
Right.
It's another staple of the genre. The woman who sees the problem.
Now, I'm not going to sit here and watch this the whole fucking time. I just can't believe this format still gets views. I've seen a lot of, modern podcasts. Everyone's fucking doing a podcast, but they do video podcasts. They'll sit in a room, on a couch or whatever, and they'll have their microphones, and they'll talk. But the avatar picture on the Google fucking rooms or whatever the fuck it's called, Google Meet, Google Hang, whatever. I would swear to fucking God, in 2024, almost 2025, that format would be dead in the water. But look what I'm looking at. It's in full effect and getting pretty goddamn good views for a stream. Wow. I just can't. I don't know. I guess to thinking about it, it's like I would have expected that the way things have gone in the past 6 years or whatever, it just seems as though, or has it been longer than that? 8 years. It just seems like there's been more of a reliance on audiences expecting more from streamers and from talent, or so to speak, and there was always a drive or a pull to expose people. Even back then, it was always like trying to, if anyone had anything to hide, especially in this case, like with these people who hide their identities, use avatars, use fake names. It made the pull back then all that more alluring to expose them, to find out their real names, find out things about them, and that was part of the fun. That was where the doxing came into play. And I was always like, why not just? I remember having conversations with all those guys about that. It's like, why not just use your fucking real names? Like, who gives a shit? I mean, the whole point. If I knew it was going to be like, because we're going to fucking talk mad shit about everybody else, then okay, I understand. But it's like, I don't know. I'm just, for all this time later, to still be doing the same thing, to still be, everybody has to know who these people are. They have to know by now. I'm sure every single person on this fucking screen has revealed their face, revealed their name at some point in some stream. So what's the point of continuing on with the avatar thing? I don't know. Maybe people are just comfortable doing that. They're going to ride that. They made their bones, like especially Undoomed, and I'm sure Ranting Monkey and some of these other people, they've made their bones back in 2016, 2015. They're, a decade ago, back when the commentary thing was kicking off and everybody was fucking hot to trot there. That's where they made their subscribers, made their bones, got their fucking viewership, and they're just keeping that formula going because it's worked all that time, and they're not trying to get more viewership, and they're not trying to build their channels. They're done with all that. They're just milking what they already have. Fine. I have to end that, I'm ending that right there, because what else can be said? I mean, fuck, it's like, I guess what I'm saying is I just don't understand the draw or appeal to it. The Hangouts thing, that's what it is. Google Hangouts. Yeah. My memory's starting to come back. Reflecting on it, to me, it was a blast hanging out in a Google Hangouts that was off stream and just chatting with people, talking, and just like, just kind of hanging out and talking off the cuff, off the record, just, shooting the shit. That was always a blast. Doing it on stream, it always felt like it was there was just too much tied into it. There was always this like aspect of like, or maybe I'm the one who just felt this way and nobody else was really sharing in that, but it always felt like you were in performance mode and you were always trying to entertain people. And maybe it wasn't that. Maybe it was just you're watching these content creators all hang out and share opinions on things, and that's what people tuned in to watch. That's what they felt comfortable doing, and that's why they're still doing it to this day, because the hangout thing is just a way for people to chill and not get all worked up and caught up in some bullshit. And in a weird way, maybe it's like they feel like they're hanging out with friends, but I mean, what wasn't that the old mantra back in the day? Like, there are no friends on the internet. Maybe they abandoned that. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that, other than I can't believe this shit still works. Like Batman told Robin, the mask is to protect your loved ones. See, to me, it's always like, I don't know. If nobody can fuck with my employer or my wife's employer, then what power does anyone really hold? You know, and the only way to fuck with someone's employer is to expose something they've said. So you are the people who've done this have always been in control of their own destiny by what they say and what they do and how they conduct themselves online. I mean, if you're saying some really heinous and outrageous shit, it's Russian roulette, and it always has been. You know, I always employed that when I was doing streams and making content and things. I always employed the notion that anything I put out there, I don't want to have to sit back and watch myself saying this stuff or hear myself saying this stuff in a room full of people who are signing my paychecks, playing it back for me and scrutinizing every fucking thing I say. It's like, I really, really don't want to be in that situation. So I always chose how I conducted myself, the words I used, and how I presented myself carefully, because I just didn't ever want to be put in that situation. And I think that's why a lot of people felt like, and that being anonymous somehow shielded them from that, but it was never the case. And that just, to me, that relying on the anonymous crutch just set people up for even bigger failure, because once they got exposed, now you've made, the only reason people sought you out in the first place to expose you is because you've pissed them off to the point where now they're seething and they want to get at you. And they're not going to stop. Once now they found you, they're going straight for your employer and they're going straight for your families and doing all this shit. It's like, you know, I don't know. I guess it would be very not condescending. What do you call it? I'd be full of myself to sit there and say, oh, if I put my name out there, everyone's going to come after me. Like, I'm not that important of a person. Like, anyone who came after me, I mean, and I'm not saying that there's not psychos out there who just do that shit for a good time. There are, but that would be to assume that I'm a big enough person on the internet that anybody would even care. Like, you have to get to that point. And I understand. That's where a lot of people slipped up. They took that, you know, they took that approach early on, and they allowed themselves to be exposed early on, and then when it started to matter, they tried to close up shop, but too much of their own information was out there, so they couldn't put the genie back in the bottle. But even so, what are you gonna do? I mean, fuck, I've been online for 20 fucking years. No, my first foray into doing anything on the internet was 98. You know, I've been on the internet for a long fucking time. Like, there's too much of me. All you have to do is search Charlie Dango. You're going to find shit from, like, way back before I could even fathom it. And so if you wanted to find out who I was, it's super easy. There's no hiding. There's too much of it out there for me to be able to hide it. You'll find reviews that I posted on fucking websites. Wayback Machine would probably pull up my old GeoCities site. I mean, I don't know. I've never searched for it myself. I'm just saying that over that span of time, there's way too much out there for me to be able to go back and try to collect it all. So the easier option for me has always been, like, my name is John Plunkett. I live in Jacksonville, Illinois. If you're that fucking interested in me, whatever. It's like, but that just makes you a crazy person if you're coming after me, because I'm just a dude living my life. Still, that's no kind of answer, because there are fucking people who just make sport of other people just to get a rise. Always has been and always will be, I suppose. But that, and also I never really played into that too. Because that was the other element that was always, I felt like I was always different than everybody else because I would walk away from it. Whereas like, you know, most of these other creators, like this is their bread and butter. This is their livelihood. They have to keep at this and keep up with it. So they have to combat the trolls. They have to be anonymous, protect themselves. And I was just like, my sanity is worth more to me than having to deal with retardation and fucking trolls. I can walk away at any time. And I did. And I never regretted it. I would tell people that after the fact. It's like, what was more important? Getting caught up in the fucking horse shit that eventually became, like, if you think about everybody that I was associated with, that whole thing became a fucking dumpster fire of insane proportions. And if I fucking would have got into the mix in that and threw myself right into the fucking, right in the mix with them, I would have been right there with them, right in it. And God only knows what would have ended up, you know, with my life, because I had a lot more to lose than a lot of these other people. Because a lot of these other people that I was associating with were jobless, had no prospects of jobs, and were basically just making money doing that. It's like I had something outside of it that was more important to me than any of this. And I still do it to this day. I probably wouldn't have been doing it if I would have been tied to the, you know, tied to the fucking stern of that sinking ship. So yeah. I mean, I'm not patting myself on the back saying, oh, look how smart I was. I got out before the, you know, when the getting out was good. But it was, I don't know. I always remember just telling those guys, like, this is not a good road to take. You know, like, this is, I don't know. Again, the regret thing. It's like so many regrets. So many, if only things would have been this little bit different. But I don't know. It's funny to me, like even now, the time has, so much time has passed and so much has gone by that even the most intense lolcow situations of the stuff that I was involved with or was privy to back in that day are all footnotes of the past that don't even matter to anyone anymore. Like even if someone remembered enough to retell the story of all of that stuff, like, there's only certain names that would appear, and those are the ones that are focused on, and that's the ones that still stream to this day. Like, Ethan Ralph, Andy Worski, who else? Fucking Tommy C. I'd say Coach Red Pill, but he's dead. That was funny. And, you know, just those people. It's like, you know, they were oddly enough, they were the weird superstars of the whole thing. You know? So in an essence, what I was involved in was like a tiny moon orbiting this bigger thing that just so happened to get a glimpse of the sun before it burst into flames and then fucking dissolved. I mean, it really, all it took. And God, I remember, I just fucking recall it so clearly. I remember telling fucking Tonk, I was like, once Medicare started taking interest, I'm like, this is not good. It's like, because everything I'd ever known of Medicare up to that point, I'm like, if Medicare is taking the interest in the Kumite, this is not good. It's like, and him and Failure both were just like up and down, would be like, no, man, this is going to be great. This is going to be great for the channel. It's like, this is so incredible. I'm like, dude, it's like what don't you understand? You know, like Medicare doesn't take interest in things that aren't cringe, that aren't fucking shit he's looking to exploit and turn into fucking, content for himself. He is gathering information. You are not as brilliant as you think you are if you think you're going to get one over on Medicare. And he's not on your side. He's on nobody's side. He's on Medicare's side. And you can't forget that. But they rushed open arm, full speed at Medicare. Let us share everything with you, Medicare. Let us share everything with you. We're so happy you're here. And I was preaching reservation. I was preaching that. Ugh. And it was ultimately Medicare that destroyed it all, because his influence was godlike in that sphere, and it's like, and if he decided that you are and it is not even though that Medicare passed some sort of cosmic judgment on the Kumite and everything that was going on, he basically he challenged it. It was a test. How well because that's all he ever does. That's all he ever did. Get in the thick with someone, throw out the shit. Because, everyone's going to fucking do some stuff that they're going to get called out for. And then he just pokes. And your reaction to his poking and prodding, it determines your future. Because if you can't hang and you can't take the barbs and you can't fucking, get beyond it, then he'll lose all respect for you. His audience will lose all respect for you, and you'll be done. Case in point, look at Ethan Ralph. Look at Andy Worski. Look at all these other people. Look at fucking Mundane Matt and all these other people that he went at in hardcore. They're still around. He still fucking would stream with them after the fact. Everyone had their sort of redemption arcs from different times, and everyone made their fucking, had shit on the internet that was just embarrassing that you could always point back to. But someone like Medicare also understood you can't just keep going back to the well and expect there to be content. If these people aren't lolcowing on a consistent basis, then they're useless. So that's how you end up getting stuff like the Kino Casino, where Andy Worski can come back and now he's being talked about again. Now he's a fucking prominent figure again in the fucking commentary, fucking whatever sphere, the drama sphere, because he's covering things again. It's no longer fucking aim, shoot and shit like that. That's all in the past, and that was one of those other things where it's like, you try to counsel people and you try to tell people, just don't go for it, but it is what it is. There was chum in the water and Tonka fucked up his one chance, but that's the thing. It wasn't just one chance. Oh, did I drop connection? He lost. Whatever nerve that he thought he had, he lost under the pressure and the weight of that audience coming at him and coming at him hard. And he panicked and he did everything wrong. And he never recovered because he wouldn't humble himself and just say, listen, yeah, I did some stupid stuff. Fuck it. Moving on. But just like the whole win thing, it was like he had to be the winner. Failure tried to move away from that, but then he unfortunately for Failure, he hooked up with Andy Worski during his low point. So it's like he went from one bad thing to another bad thing, and that was enough to break anyone's spirit at that time, especially for someone like Failure. So it's like, and it doesn't surprise me at all that he walked away and didn't want to have anything to do with it anymore. It just sucks because I always said that there was a chemistry between those two in particular that was undeniable, and I really felt like they could have come back from it. They could have just dismissed it and continued on and continue doing what they're doing, and they could have gotten an even bigger audience off of the wake of that if they would have just stopped, chilled out, calmed down, and been like, you know, what it was, you know. True, and Tonka still streams with someone on Grapplevision. Really? I'm shocked by that. I figured he walked away too. He should have fought Warski. Yeah, he should have. Absolutely. I think that's the one. That's one of those things where you always look back and say, yeah, he should have. Fuck all the whatever 4D chess he thought he was fucking doing or this and shit. You know, whatever. He should have just done it. I mean, fucking watching Warski get fucking knocked the hell out at that one event, that boxing event, fucking showed that I don't know why that there would be any sort of intimidation in that regard. Like, it's just one of those unexplained things, you know. Always has been, always will be. Couldn't move away from it. But again, that's like when you've made a career of talking so much shit. And I think the biggest problem was that it became a ego thing where it was like, you talk yourself up so much. And behind the scenes, it was always like, oh, I'm fucking with everybody. I don't need this. I can walk away from it, blah, blah, blah. I'm just stirring up shit. It's like, right, but the people you're stirring up shit with are better at it than you. They're more dedicated to it than you. You know, it's like, why do this? Why not just stick with the format, stick with the program, build this thing, have on interesting guests, do the fucking Kumite thing. The whole idea from the get-go was to not make any one figure the central. There wasn't supposed to be a central character. It was supposed to be a fucking battleground. You know, it was supposed to be the hosting of this thing. That way to me, it was a perfect, it was perfect in the sense that you could host this and reap the benefits of people coming together through almost like an arbitrary way of people who like talk shit. Like, you know how it always was. Like, I'm not coming on your stream. I'm not giving you the views, and I'm not coming on your stream. It's like, come to this stream. That way, no one has the viewership benefit, or no one has their crowd versus this crowd. It's like, it's neutral ground. You battle it out. And if it would have been handled better, and it would have been done in a respectable manner, and Tonka and Vamp and Failure wouldn't have gotten personally involved in the battles, God only knows what could have become of that whole format. But I mean, fuck, I'm talking about shit from 8 years ago at this point. It's over and done with. Tuned into Grapplevision stream just to see what it turned into, and there was Tonka talking combat sports. Well, that doesn't surprise me. The most recent downfalls with Styx and Necrocata have been entertaining, though. What happened with Styx X and Hammer? I haven't followed that. I've to be honest, the only reason I know about the Necrocata stuff is because of Nate the Lawyer. Out of the whole LawTube thing, the only one I actually stuck with was Nate the Lawyer. I don't know. I kind of felt like he was the most level-headed out of the group, and he wasn't like a fucking shitheel just trying to, you know, be a douchebag. Although now he's like, every fucking video he puts out, he's like shilling his fucking incognito lawsuit and some other horse shit. It's just so transparent. But I accept it. He's kind of touching, he's hitting me close to home because he's covering the Dalton shit up near Chicago. That's in my own backyard. I got to pay attention to that, the Super Mayor stuff. But that's how I found out about the Necrocata stuff, and it's like, which is fucking hilarious because I had just found out about Steel Toe Morning Show maybe 6 months before all that broke out, and I was like, that Aaron Himmel guy, I was always like, man, because I saw his wife on the stream, I'm like, It's like, she's a bit too hot for this dude. Like, what the fuck's going on? And then come to find out that they're all swingers and she's fucking screwing Nick or Kate. It's like, oh boy. This has turned sad and depressing, like, so fast. Legal Mindset is solid on reporting on it. Yeah, I haven't watched a Legal Mindset. I haven't watched a Legal Mindset video in a while. I know that when LawTube started to tear it was so eerily reminiscent when LawTube started to eat itself alive. When the egos got to be a little bit too big and the conflicts over, accusations here, disputes over audiences here and there. And it's like, wow, like the same old arguments. They're all starting to fucking come back, aren't they? Like, I guess you just can't get away from it no matter what side of the spectrum of YouTube you're on. But that's when I started to tap out on the whole LawTube thing, because I'm like, I don't want to watch this fucking shit happen again. It's like I'm not that invested. But yeah, Nate's cool. Yeah, Legal Mindset I haven't watched in a while. The Dark World of the Average American Campground Gross. What? I don't know what that means. You're gonna have to clue me in. I guess I'll look it up. I'm interested enough now to look it up. Well, that's just his page. He went to jail. Okay, I got to click on this.
Guys, I don't want to have to make this kind of content. I think you come to YouTube to be informed and entertained.
Oh, the swingers, yeah. Swinger thing.
And this gets darker than what I intend to have on this channel. But I think we're watching the fall of an alleged serial abuser who masquerades as a YouTuber. And I'm at the center of it.
Von Jog Vlog.
So this channel has a bit of everything in it. I don't want any top...
Hey, speaking of that, I don't know what you're talking about, Victor Ann, but I am going to be selling my camper soon, so if anybody's interested in that. Frankie Muniz, Von Jog Vlogs is the name of this channel.
Being out of bounds. I want to cover
serial abuser.
Afraid of covering. I will talk
that's not what I classify Six X and Amber as. He looks
fashion,
like...
games, movies,
yeah, no.
What's happening in the news,
no one would get close enough to him to allow themselves to be violated by 6X and Hammer.
Came to my attention. I thought, here's a guy.
He's a fucking
who has a lot
bedroom
to
dweller.
Say in politics, but maybe there's more behind that.
Serial
Looks like
abuser.
He's doing the lazy effort grift. Yeah, I will just throw out a whole lot of videos to get all over YouTube, talking about all the hot button topics, and of course the super chat grift. You want me to acknowledge your existence in a live stream? Pay me first. And for that, I was not shy about calling this out.
God, it's like 2015, 2016 all over again, isn't it?
Oh yeah,
make a video to call out someone else's videos. Jesus Christ. Circle in the toilet.
Around here. I mean, I've jogged in a park for 8 years to crickets. But Taylor Mathis gets to walk on a beach in a bikini and is immediately sponsored by DraftKings.
Oh, come on, dude. It's been that way the whole fucking time. The entirety of the fucking entertainment industry as a whole. That's the way it's been. I love it when fucking YouTubers get on their high horse like, oh, because she's attractive, she get like, dude, this is the world you live in. For the love of God. I mean, come on. This guy's got to be slightly, well, not older than me, but been around long enough to know how the world works. There's a stream where Styx groped a chick and she looked freaked. He was drunk and not mindful of being on stream, apparently. He groped a chick.
And who was telling me I was
That
jealous?
doesn't surprise me.
It was Styx sending his troll army. Yep. I'm the bad guy here, telling you that you've got the Stockholm Syndrome. But it doesn't stop there with Styx. He perused my recent uploads, saw that I too
You know what I
had
need? A
live stream
background.
in which a guest unprovoked
I don't ever
without
give a shit about my fucking
foreseeing the situation,
about my
given the
streams or
topic,
anything I do.
I had this stream set to 18 plus. Civil enough. I mean, we have red band trailers
Although I do
for us
have
to
a
toss off to.
Ronin
It's
RS2
just,
behind me with a Tilta
now I
cage.
can do one better.
That's more expensive
So
than
in
anything
his
he's
next
got.
live stream covering the debate
I'm
between
patting myself
Trump
on the
and
back.
Harris, he decided to grope his co-host. That stream got taken down. Why is that? Well, I have to thank the intrepid reporting skills of Morgan for
So he
staying
just
alive
groped
on all
some
of this.
chick?
That's not Styx's wife. No, that seems to be somebody else. Now, over the weekend, it looks like Styx was spending some time in New Orleans. And then he kind of didn't have a lot of uploads. Why would he avoid the opportunity to make some grift money? I mean, this is Mr. I give Trump an 80% chance of winning the election, right? Who does that?
What does this have
Think
to do
about
with
it.
anything?
If you're watching the Super Bowl, you don't have Tony Gonzalez there sitting in the pregame going, you know, I really like the Chiefs. I give them an 80% chance of winning today. No, everyone picks a winner. This 80% stuff, we're not doing the election 100 times to figure out who's going to win. This is the tactic of a con artist. Even though Morgan blew the lid off of this story of Styx actually not uploading because he was in jail, Styx is now coming out trying to get ahead of the story. Not saying a whole lot. Yeah, we still have that stream down where we groped the girl, and let's not assume that that's also the girl you allegedly assaulted, and that was why you were in jail. Styx, the jig is up. You're going to see declining viewership.
This guy kind of sucks. I don't like it. Fuck him. Oh, that's too long. That's 5 minutes. That's 1 month ago. 2 weeks ago. That's a minute.
Hey, I'm Morgan, and today I'm here to talk about how Styx Hexenhammer 666 has been arrested. I received multiple news tips about this, including from users Miss U Chimis 1161, Stevie McConaughey.
Can't hear over my fucking dog.
So I decided to look more into this. I know from Styx's publishing that his name is Charles Warwick. Right now I'm holding up a copy of 2009.
That fucking dog.
The End of Wokeness.
I'm going to strangle a Aussie.
So what I ended up doing was I ended up
Yo!
doing the Criminal District Court docket master search on the Orleans Parish Sheriff's Office website, and I can confirm that Styx Hexenhammer 666 has been charged with domestic abuse battery, but I cannot reproduce that document.
God, it's like the fucking old days.
Of the persons or the Orleans
Whoa, 70.
So I cannot provide proof of this at this time. Thank you so much, I guess, for checking out this video, and I hope you have a great day.
I heard nothing she said. That fucking voice was like, all I heard. I guess, I don't know. I have no fucking idea what she said. He went to jail. Sexual abuse. Whoa. Then he was doing some debate stream with a random chick and he grabbed a titty. Well, I saw that. Looking good, bro. Ooh, you talking to me? Why am I doing that to me? Thank you. If you're talking to me. He also debated. Yeah, I saw that video pop up here. It's 12 minutes, though. I wasn't going to watch the whole fucking thing.
So Styx went on with.
Oh, and there's always some other dude.
Went as much of a crapshoot as you would imagine.
I can't talk about the legal situation in full, but
Right.
I can say that I am not guilty. It's bullshit, and I have not been charged with any crime.
You know, I just got to say. You're a fucking jerk off if you wear sunglasses on stream. You're just a fucking jerk off. I can't help it. It's so fucking douchey. It's like you're indoors. I mean, unless you're outside in the sun. But if you're indoors, why the fuck are you wearing sunglasses? It's just that's I want to look cool. I mean, it helps Hexenhammer because he's got like beady little fucking black eyes, so it actually improves his game. But for the love of God, it's just douchey. Oh, is Ceiling Friend bubonic? If so, hello, sir. Long time no see. Curly Sticks is going through some things, and he's having a moment. I never really followed him all that much, but I know he's hyper political. I don't really follow that really hyper political shit. But the lights are bright, man.
People, they seem to believe that I've been charged with a crime. It's actually not happened, actually.
That's like the fucking Dr. Disrespect defense right there. I didn't commit a crime because I haven't been charged with a crime.
So you have not been charged by the district attorney, is what you're telling me?
Nope. I face
Medicare's had a field day with Ethan Ralph lately.
So, do you expect that you will face charges?
No. I expect to be free and clear. It's just that they have pre-crime...
Oh, you moved to the Smoky Mountains? Nice. My wife and I were just there not too long ago, hiking the AT. It's beautiful country. I congratulate you, sir. I hope you're enjoying yourself out there. Are you Smoky Mountains? So that's North Carolina or Tennessee? That region. But yes, it's beautiful there. We drove the Blue Ridge Parkway while we were there. It was very nice. Also went whitewater rafting for the first time in my life on that trip, and it was a very enjoyable experience.
Sort of thing in the state of Louisiana. If you are, alleged to have done anything wrong, you are immediately hooked, and you go to jail, and then you have to go to jail and then serve your time.
Yeah, North Carolina, from what I hear, is pretty fucked up right now.
And that's basically what happens.
So,
Western North Carolina, right where the hurricane hit. Oh man, that sucks. Hopefully you're doing all right. Boo moved to Dollywood. Really? Did you move to Pigeon Forge? I know I got a buddy who lives in Pigeon Forge. I say buddy, but I haven't seen him in 30 years. So he used to be my buddy back at Full Sail. He was originally from Pigeon Forge. Dollywood, an hour from here. Hour north? Are you near, what am I thinking? Franklin, perhaps? What's another city I was thinking of? Are you close to, what's the name of that town? God damn it. I can't think of it. Not Franklin. God, my brain sucks. There's a really good restaurant there that my wife and I love. It's right near Fontana Dam. I mean, it's about 15 minutes away from Fontana Dam. I can't remember. Maybe a couple towns over. Yeah, that's where we. So that would be close to. I'm thinking of it in relation to the AT. That would be close to the NOC, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Nantahala Outdoor Center. That's actually where I did my whitewater rafting trip. That whole Gatlinburg, Pigeon Forge area is a giant tourist trap now. Now? It's been a tourist trap for fucking ever. My buddy's actually I don't know why I keep calling him my buddy. We literally haven't talked in 30 years. He's a performer at one of those at Dollywood. He's like one of those freak show guys. He hammers nails into his nose and shit and puts on shows. a far cry from where I met him. I mean, we were both in the same audio engineering course. So, but that just goes to show you how well that worked out for everybody involved. Between Franklin and Asheville. Okay, so yeah. That's a little further east than where I was. But yeah, I know where you're at. I know where you're at. Shit. Shouldn't have told me that. Next time I go down there, I may have to fucking contact you and come meet you. That would be a fucking straight trip. Because, man, my wife and I go down there. We've been down to that region twice this year. We went down, what was it? March. We were around, I can only give you AT locations because that's what we do. We go down there and hike. But we hiked from, what the fuck was it? Winding Stair Gap to the NOC. And then back in June or July, we hiked from the Fontana Dam back to the NOC. But we went to I gotta look it up now because it's killing me. It's a fucking town near there, and I can't think of the fucking name. Yoink. No. There's Knoxville. Let's see. There's Charlotte. Wait a minute. I can't see this. There we go. It's not Tahala. Where's the name of that? Where is that fucking town? I'm looking. There's Cherokee. Been through there. Fontana Dam's right there. Where's the name of that fucking... Oh, there's Gatlinburg. Shit, I didn't realize it was over there. Is it really that small? Bryson City. Ah, that's what I was looking for. Bryson City. You love this area. Town here is really quaint. The gateway to the Smokies. Like you can reach up and grab them. Gotta go. We'll be back later. Tomorrow, for sure. Miss you, bro. I miss you too, man. Thanks for stopping by. I'm not going to be on here too much longer because it's already 11 and my old lady's home and she probably wants to hang out. She works 48 hours a week now, so she's not too thrilled when she gets home. I mean, she's doing factory work now. It's not the greatest, but pays the bills, you know. So yeah, thanks for stopping by, man. I mean, if I stream again, I stream again. I can't really make any promises, but I'll throw something out there. I'll try to schedule something or put something out there. I don't know. I don't know if I'll be at this tomorrow or not, but we'll see. "45 minutes ago." Yeah, we're all getting old, aren't we? Yep. So yeah, I'm gonna call it. I don't know how long I've been streaming, but 2 hours and 29 minutes. Wow, that's fucking long. So yeah, it was fun, and I don't know. Depending on what goes on tomorrow, I may hop back on, figure out something to say. Maybe try to lure somebody in. Talk to somebody on the stream instead of just babbling incoherently and just responding to chat. Figure it out. So until then, I'll see you guys later. Thank you for stopping by.